Is everyone ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is there a case that's going to be called?
Your Honor, Rodney Hinton.
Thank you. Mr. Bennett, at the prior hearing before today.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Have a seat, sir.
Sit down.
No, let it go. Get him out, let it go.
Mr. Bennett, was that the defendant's blood brother?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor. No.
All right.
No.
Okay.
The separate session of the Hamilton County Municipal Court is now in session. Judge Tyrone Yates is presiding this morning. We ask that you turn off all cell phones. You may be seated. Please remain quiet during all proceedings.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning. Good morning.
First case load out to Rodney Hinton.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the same way about December.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton. Good morning.
He said good morning, Judge. He's very soft.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, anything as to probable cause?
Your Honor, we'll waive probable cause this morning. I have submitted designations for John Kennedy and Timothy Bicknell. They will be the attorneys of record handling Mr. Hinton's case. I'll be handling the arraignment this morning.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, or anything as to bond?
As to bond, Your Honor, thank you. Your Honor, we understand this is a very, very serious, very terrible charge that Mr. Hinton is facing. He has a risk, but he does not have a history, Judge. He has no felonies in his record. His risk assessment score was a 1. He had no juvenile record. He works at BDF. He's married. He's a father. He's a graduate of Purcell Marion. I understand that this is an emotionally charged situation. I understand that Mr. Hinton's son may have been killed by the police earlier in the week. There was a review of that video. I understand that there is a lot of sadness and a lot of anger in this room right now, but in the community at large. I would just ask the court to set a reasonable bond in light of everything and to allow the our constitutional process to play out.
All right, thank you. Andy, you've given me a pre-trial services sheet. Is that right this morning? All right, the court has had a chance to review that and his past history. Is there anything from the state through the prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the
Could you
prosecution.
give us more volume, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the prosecution. What we believe that the evidence will show is that yesterday, on or about the 2nd of May, the defendant was traveling, I believe it would be eastbound on Martin Luther King Avenue at MLK, I believe at Burnett Woods at the intersection, I believe immediately north to the rear entrance of the University of Cincinnati. The defendant stops his car. The defendant, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car, deliberately accelerated his car, and purposely caused the death of an on-duty deputy sheriff who was doing a detail at that intersection. As such, we are going to be seeking indictment for aggravated murder, and we would request, in accordance with ORC 2937-222, for a no bond hearing. That rule requires that hearing be set within 3 business days, so we are seeking to set that date on the 6th of May of 2025. That will be next Tuesday.
So the court will now set no bond until Tuesday, when we'll review the statute for continuing no bond in these unusual and very tragic and terrible circumstances. Where will the defendant be housed, and will he be safe? And I ask that because he was transferred, as I understand it, to Clermont County yesterday.
That's correct.
On my order.
That's correct.
And will he be returned to Clermont County until Tuesday?
It's our understanding he will be returned to Clermont.
And you have a safe environment for him there in Clermont County?
Yes, sir.
You'll return him on Tuesday, May the 6th at 8:30 a.m. for a hearing at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, for the record, we'd ask the court to put a bond on him now, but we understand that it's not a bond hearing request.
All right, no bond.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can hold him at no bond for 72 hours,
Yes,
is that right?
yes, correct.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, thank you all. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been dancing with the devil way too long.
Lynn Street.
Okay.
Which is where the Cincinnati Police Department's Criminal Investigation Section is located.
Okay, and is that abbreviated CIS?
It is. He was at CIS to meet with CPD officials to review body-worn camera footage related to an incident that had occurred the day prior. His son had been shot by a Cincinnati police officer.
Approximately what time did he view that video?
Shortly after 9:30 that morning. So he left the parking lot, I believe, shortly after about 10:30. He went to a couple of different locations and then later returned. 12:40 he returned to our lot.
Were you able to speak to the people or some of the people or family members that he was with when he was at CIS?
They said that he was upset, was agitated, and they were concerned enough about his emotional state that they did not want him driving, which is why the first time that he was there, when he left, he actually left with family members, not driving the car that he had driven to that. He came back to pick up the car. He actually left the parking lot, followed by some family members in another car, and then a few minutes later returned to the parking lot, drove through the parking lot, and then left the parking lot again. That was at approximately, I believe, around 12:49 that he left the lot the last time. From there, proceeded up to the Clifton neighborhood.
And where was Deputy Henderson working on this day?
He was engaged in traffic control duties. There were graduations at the University of Cincinnati that day, and so there was a large volume of traffic in the area, and so he was controlling traffic and assisting pedestrians. He was wearing a sheriff's deputy uniform.
Were you able to retrieve any video from any stationary cameras or mobile cameras?
We had one camera that was a fixed camera. That camera captured them turning from Clifton Avenue onto West Martin Luther King Drive. We also had the opportunity to view camera from a vehicle that was in traffic, and it did capture the incident.
Okay.
He pulled into that center lane, the median, turns into the turn lane, and stopped. There were no other cars in front of him at that point, no obstructions. The vehicle accelerated quickly, crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic, went to the left through the intersection, directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing, struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson. Deputy Henderson was launched several feet through the air. He came to rest in a turn lane several feet from where the collision occurred.
Was there anyone who was in the car with the defendant?
No, he was the sole occupant of the Ford Focus.
Okay, so is there any doubt that he was the driver and operator of that vehicle at that time?
No, none at all.
You said that individuals that know were saying that he appeared to be agitated, upset, and so forth, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't know the source of that agitation or that distraughtness, do you? If you know, you might not. I don't think you do, but you have to answer the question.
The source of the agitation?
Yes.
Well, I would assume it was because of I believe it was because of the video and the reason that he was at CIS.
Do you know the mental history of Mr. Hinton?
No, I do not know detailed mental history.
Do you know whether or not he's had any medically documented infirmities or conditions? Do you know that? You don't, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay. And then you also don't know his state of mind at the time of the incident near Vernon Woods and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. You don't know that either, do you?
Based on the facts and circumstances surrounding it, I think we...
You think he intentionally did it?
And the evidence, yes.
Yeah. Are you familiar with acts of someone that is not in their right mind when they commit a criminal act? If you know.
Can you clarify your question, please?
Are you familiar with the characteristics of acts
I'll
of...
object to that one.
You'll object to that?
question,
Okay.
yes.
You don't know whether or not he was in his right mind at the time that he encountered Deputy Henderson on Martin Luther King Drive in Vernon Woods. You don't know that, do you?
Object again, Your Honor.
Okay, so once again, still having some audio issues in the courtroom,
That has
but
to be
Clyde
excluded.
Bennett on cross-examination. Let's go back inside.
What was his mental condition at the time he committed this offense? It's stated in the statute. It's 2937.22. I believe the C3, the character, physical, and mental condition of the defendant or the accused. That's at issue.
I believe that the witness indicated that his opinion was that the act was intentional.
Right. And in making that opinion about whether or not it's intentional, you need to know the mindset or the mens rea of the person that you're claiming intended to do this. Was he in his right mind? That's relevant with respect to your bond
I'll
determination.
sustain the objection.
From the state, Your Honor, also, just for clarification, it's not the time of the event, it's the time of the history of the accused. So the actual intent at the time of this offense has no bearing upon this court's decision.
I'm not saying that my client didn't try to intend to do this. That's not my position. One more question. You don't know his mindset at the time of the act, do you? Yes or no?
Like I stated previously, with the facts and circumstances surrounding it, and him driving up until that point, and all the circumstances that surround him leaving our office, and from talking to witnesses, he was emotionally distraught, and they were concerned about him driving, and they were concerned about his safety.
In the past, but he lives in Hamilton County now.
For how long? Can you share that?
Several years.
All right, go ahead.
Strong family ties. His family retained me. He lives with his significant other and his children. He does have limited contacts with crimes of violence. I think there was several low-level misdemeanors. Other than that, he doesn't have a felonious criminal record and doesn't have a significant history of failure to appear. I think there's one failure to appear. I conducted my investigation, and I couldn't find out where that one failure to appear came from. But what I agree with the state is that there is a giant mental health issue. And I would ask that whatever bond, whether it's a no bond or a monetary bond, I would ask that it be coupled with or inclusive of a requirement that he have mental health treatment. You can't do a competency report, but you can, as a condition of bond, make certain that he's treated mentally. He's receiving no treatment in Claremont County, mentally or physically. I've got a problem with that. And I would ask the court to take that into consideration with respect to the judgment here or decision on bond. That's all I have at this point.
Thank you. The state have anything final to say?
Judge, the only thing I would say is that I don't really have an objection to him getting mental health treatment in jail. That's fine. I mean, mental health treatment is good. But as far as what we need to show is, number one, the proof is evident, or the presumption is great that he committed the offense with which he is charged. We know that because we have video and witnesses who saw it. Number two, he poses a substantial risk of serious physical harm to persons or the public. And
Why don't you repeat that first paragraph again that you just read?
the proof is evident, or the presumption is great that the accused committed the offense to which he is charged.
Hold it. I will make a finding under revised code section 3927.222 by clear and convincing evidence that the crime was committed as you described, based on the information presented this morning. Next.
Next would be that he poses a substantial risk of serious physical harm to any person or to the community.
Mr. Bennett, you want to address that?
I think in light of his mindset at the time this happened, I was physically present with the defendant over the weekend. I think he has mental issues. I think the long way of answering the question. I think the conduct in question is classic mental illness criminal conduct. It's always intentional, it's bold, it's conspicuous.
I don't know that.
That's a hallmark sign that somebody is not in their right frame of mind, no attempt to deceive, no attempt to hide what they did, because they think that what they're doing is right, and they think that what they're doing is right because they're not in their right frame of mind. They don't understand the lawful use of their conduct. So yes, I'm agreeing with Mr.
I cannot recall either in experience or outside experience a case that I've ever seen like this. And based upon the state's comments, I find it very difficult to figure out how there could be any decision based on what they said that would protect the public and the defendant under these circumstances. This is a most unusual case.
I don't disagree with you, Judge, with respect to the no bond.
Thank you so much. I believe that Mr. Bennett said that he agreed with the court with the issue relating to no bond, and I would add the mental health treatment. I've talked to the officers before. They have assured me, and I'll ask the state to make the assurance that if he's continued to be held at Clermont County, he'll be kept in a safe safe way, and that he will be watched over in a way that would not relate to any self-harm based upon what everybody has said today.
Judge, I don't want to. I don't want the court to misconstrue, or the public for that matter, my comments about his stay in Clermont County. Clermont County is doing a great job. I met with him this weekend. He was in a black jacket. They're making certain that he doesn't harm himself or anyone else. I just want to make sure, add that component of mental treatment.
You understand that as an impartial jurist deciding these issues between the defendant, his rights, and the state and its presentation, that the court's required to make these inquiries.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Based upon the officer of testimony, it's Officer Beebe,
Yes, Judge.
and all the facts and circumstances surrounding his testimony this morning, the comments of the state, that there will be an order of remand with no bond. Please assure the safety of the defendant and any mental health treatment that can be granted. No bond, and we'll give, if the officers want to stay, and the public, you're welcome to stay through the other hearings. Otherwise, if you were concerned about this issue, you may leave, and then we'll take just a 5-minute break.
Your Honor, his measure of reporting is May the 12th.
All right, let me finish this one.
5/12 for your report.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm not the assistant employer. I just want to make sure we got your name.
Oh, it's Ryan Nelson.
Ryan Nelson. Spelled normally, I assume.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes,
And you're with the prosecutor's office?
Yes,
or-
sir.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Nelson, I thought it was you.
Oh, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Will somebody call Tyrone? Will somebody please call Tyrone? Listen, it's your boy Rich Ones. If you didn't know, this is Judge Tyrone Yates. This is the judge who was at Mr. Rodney Hinton's arraignment when he was charged with the unaliving, of the deputy in Cincinnati, Ohio. This is the judge who allowed these officers, these 30-plus officers, to come in this courtroom and protest and try to intimidate Rodney Hinton, for his alleged actions. And as you can see, Mr. Hinton ain't intimidated. He got that head held up high. He got his chin up as he should have, but this right here, Judge Yates, Judge Tyrone Yates should be ashamed of himself because he's clearly a man of color, and I know that doesn't mean anything to a lot of people, but what I'm saying is this. Let's just say that Mr. Hinton didn't take any action. Let's just say that the officer was actually charged with unaliving his son unjustly. We all know that Judge Tyrone Yates wouldn't allow 30 black men to come in his courtroom and try to intimidate the officer. We've never seen that. It's never happened. It wouldn't be allowed. But yet these police officers are allowed to come in here and, put on some type of protest and try to intimidate this man who clearly wasn't intimidated. somebody need to call him. Somebody need to file something. You know, there needs to be some type of laws change, because we as a people, and I'm talking about black people, who are constantly, you know, dealing with these type of issues of our young men, you know, being gunned down by corrupt police officers and then lying to the review boards claiming they were in fear of their life, when we all know that this young man was just running. He didn't have a weapon, you know, and lost his life. You know, this double standard of where they get to go in there and say they feared for their lives, you know, has got to stop. You know, and individuals like this need to be brought up before judicial review boards for the things they allow in their courtroom, because this right here is clearly an act of intimidation. It shows that he's biased, you know, and it shows that he doesn't have any morals or any sensitivity for what this man or his family went through. Somebody need to call Tyrone and tell him about himself. And if he sees this, which, you know, I doubt, I don't know, maybe he will, you know, I just want to know that this is very disgraceful. And he's a tasteless judge, very insensitive, and he should be removed from the bench. And once again, I put myself right here in the center of the page next to Mr. Hinton, because I'm standing in solidarity with him. My condolences to him and his family for the loss of their young loved one. This brother is not alone. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. It's your boy, Rich Ones. Love.
So these are some still photos. This is the officer who originally saw him with the firearm in his hand, calling it out. He runs through the dumpsters. This officer knows that there's another officer here that is going to ultimately encounter him when he comes through the dumpsters. So he makes him aware of that. He shouts out to him, "On your right, on your right." He's on your right. The body camera is kind of jolting as the officers.
The suspect, it was very difficult to see, really shows how volatile the situation is. But it was difficult for us to see if the suspect pointed his gun at the officer or whether he just had a gun and was shot because he had a gun. Can you tell why the officer...
The officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. He was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer. And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm.
There was no indication that he fired his gun.
Correct. No indication. But I would like to add a caveat. We do not expect the officers to wait until...
So, Chief, would it be standard protocol to shoot a suspect if they are armed with a handgun and running if the firearm were not threatening the officer directly?
So this is where we have to go to the state of mind of the officer at the time. What are they seeing, feeling, hearing? If they feel like their life or somebody else's life is in danger, they have a responsibility to stop that threat. So I can't answer how every situation should be resolved. It's based on the officers, and some of that includes their training, their experience, their tenure. Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them.
Wow. That is the actual shooting of the young man. You can clearly see his back is turned to the officer. Looks like he has on a book bag. And you can actually see the fire coming from his gun. Now, ask yourself, why did they stop the photo here instead of here? You know why? Because that doesn't fit the narrative that the officer felt threatened for his life. That is